Hmm.
After your time ended at Indiana State, what was your plan? Or excuse me, Illinois State. I'm so sorry. At Illinois State, what was your thought process and what was your plan?
I didn't have a plan. I didn't even know I was gonna play pro. Like I was, my homeboy Anthony Slack had just like came back from Ukraine hooping, right?
Hmm.
And so I averaged 10 points a game at Illinois State. I averaged double digits. So I wasn't expecting. I didn't know what overseas was like. I didn't have no big homie or nothing like that that was putting me on game. Like it was. I just remember after the season, I had got soon as the season was over, I had agents hitting me up in my on my Facebook. This is when Facebook was just now really popping,
Hmm.
and they was telling me like, "Yo, woo, woo, woo." And this is why when people reach out to me now, they're like, "Yo, Cook, I want to play overseas." I'm like, you don't need to look for an agent. Like you don't you don't have to. You don't need to look for people to represent you. They will, if you're talented enough, they will find you. Even in high school, middle school, like I tell the Buckets and bench players all the time, we don't need to market ourselves. Like when it comes to that, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. They will find you. Talent is going to be found. Period. You know what I'm saying? So they hit me up. So I didn't have a plan, and it was crazy because I got so many stories, man. But I
Tell
end
the
up,
ones that you can.
huh?
Tell the ones that you can. That's what we have to do.
All right, so this is what happened. So I had uh an agent hit me up and he was telling me, he was like, yo, just to be raw, he was like, yeah, what I'm saying, you went to Illinois State, you didn't really, he just gave it to me real. He was like, you didn't, what I'm saying, you're not gonna get that much money. And this is what he told me. So then I had another agent who was telling me, yo, I can get you $15,000 a month. And I'm like, what I'm saying? Me being not naive, I'm
Hmm.
like, ooh, I want that 15,000. Come to find out, it was bullshit. It wasn't really was. But he had me. I had signed to this agent, so I'm like, I'm thinking I'm going there. So I almost missed out on my opportunity to play overseas, and it just so happened that I ran across another guy who went to Bowling Green, who had the same type contract that I had, and we found out this dude was scamming us. And I'm like, yo, like he reached out to me because I had played against him, and basketball's a small world, small community.
Hmm.
So what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, I had to get out of that contract. And so then I reached back out to my other agent, the guy who first reached out to me who kept it real. I'm like, yo, he kept it real. I might as well. So I reached back out to him. He was like, yeah, I see what I could do. I get you in Germany, but you're only gonna make $1,000 a month. And I'm just like, shit, I gotta get out of here. I gotta do what I gotta do. We're gonna figure this thing out, right? And so he was like, all right, as soon as he got me into Germany and in the second league of Germany. And I got over there and bro, I went over there and I was killing anything stuck on that basketball court. I was destroying anything. I led the league in scoring all the way up into the last game. And I think I got kicked out the game or something like that, or suspended. Like something happened.
Hmm.
So my average dropped by like a tenth of a point, a couple tenths of a point. So I didn't lead the league in scoring, but I got defensive player of the year. Like I averaged like 22 points a game. Had defensive player of the year. Averaged like 6 assists, 3 steals. Like I was hooping.
So, what was it like playing that international style of basketball fresh out of college?
I was blessed and fortunate because I ran across a coach who didn't know anything.
Okay.
If I don't know if he'll hear this, his name was like he was like Turkish. His name was like Mahmoud Ataman. My homeboys called him Mutt Mutt. Americans, we we
Especially back then, because you didn't have to be politically correct either.
yeah, it didn't have to be. Didn't have to be. So he didn't know anything. He was just like he gave me the keys to the Lamborghini and let me drive it however I wanted to. So we was like, cool. It was me and it was a dude from Texas Southern, and then there was another dude from Bowling Green, another dude, the guard from Bowling Green. and we was killing it. I was cooking so much. They was like, "Yo, they was like, you got somebody else that you could bring over here?" I was like, "Yeah, I got my homeboy. He's still at home. He had just came from Ukraine. He ain't got a deal right now. You pay him this. Yo, we really cook." So they was like, "All right," and they flew him out there, got him out there, and then we was really cooking. But I was fortunate because they didn't, and I was spoiled because then I end up having my next year, I got a nice little check. I went to Czech Republic and I went over there, but this guy was Croatian. Like this guy was Croatian, Serbian, Eastern European type coach. And if you know anything, are you familiar with how the Eastern European coaches are?
Not the coaches. I'm a little bit familiar with the style of play, but can you explain it to me, please?
All right, so these coaches, this is how they are, these Eastern Europeans. They want to break you down mentally so they can build you up how they want you to be. So
Mm-hmm.
they, so they'll say stuff like "fuck your mother," you ain't shit. Like they're gonna like run you to death, like 3 practices a day. Like they're trying to break you down mentally so they can build you up the way you are. So me, I'm a very positive guy, but I'm also when you come up against me, like it is what it is. So he had a particular style of play that he wanted us to do that I wasn't as point guard savvy as I am now. My IQ wasn't really where it was. And previously, I was able to play however I wanted. Like I was a scoring point guard. So, and that was a transition between the game too. Like at that point guards were traditional. So it wasn't until Steph Curry revolutionized the game where point guards became more scoring. So I was that scoring point guard where I had guys on my team local guys who wanted to shoot the basketball. But in my mind, this is how I thought. I'm like, me as a point guard, this is what I thought. I'm supposed to get the ball to the best scorer on the team and in the best matchup. And most times on any given night, I'm the best one to get the ball in that basket. This is whether I was right or whether I was wrong. That's what I was thinking. So,
Mm-hmm.
so with this Czech Republic coach, he didn't have the respect of the players. He damn sure didn't have my respect. And we had a mafia. Our owner was mafia. He was from the mafia. So we wasn't winning. Uh, it was crazy. That was
So, what was it like living internationally? Because one of my friends he played in Czech, and I heard Prague was a good time.
Czech Republic, man. Oh my god! Like when you be specific, please. When you ask me what was it like, cause I could I can go left, I can go right, I can go.
All right, so we're gonna get away from basketball. We're gonna get to your social life off the court, because
Okay.
a lot of people don't understand about basketball players after college. If you play any level of professional basketball, you typically have a shitload of free time.
Yeah, a lot.
Like unless you're playing in one of those programs where they give you like a BS day job to help supplement your
Yeah,
income because the
yeah,
team may not be able to pay you what you need. You work out, you practice for a couple of hours, you get some shots up, but you have like a complete 5-hour workday.
yeah. At best, yeah,
Right. And that's a busy day. And depending on the league, you may only play once a week or twice a week.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you have ample free time to do whatever you want to do and still be still work on your game in a responsible way. So when you're off the court, after the 5 hours of basketball work, what was that life like, especially on the weekends?
man. It was cool. That's why I'm as cultured as I am now. Like, so I would different countries was different,
Mm-hmm.
but more importantly, as an American, they was real receptive of wanting to see us and meet us and invite us into their home. The ladies loved us. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing like being an American black man in a foreign country.
Nothing
And
like it.
and you have to put the emphasis on American because there are men with melanin in their skin
Mm-hmm.
who are in these countries. You can find a king in any country in the world.
Yeah.
But it's different when you are an American black man.
Your bravado is different.
Yeah.
Period.
You got it's different energy that they feel off you, and you can be a normal man like me and feel like a rapper or a hooper. Because
Yeah.
I was telling Dean because he getting ready to go to Dubai,
Ooh,
and I was like, bro, Dubai is different.
it is.
He was like, what you mean? I'm like, Dubai is different.
It is.
You can do what you want to do as long as your mouthpiece right. Like they gonna do the work for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to live life, man. Get to sow your royal oaks, man. You get I this is why I train so hard. I hope they all can go over there and get to see, experience what life has to offer. For real. For real, man. Like it's different. But you're right, man. Your bravado is different. You get over there because you do see, like, you see Africans, and the Africans, they try to dress like us. But it's different. And as soon as you walk up in the right spots, yo, they're receptive. So I had a lot of downtime.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched a lot of movies. I read a lot of audiobooks, and I met a lot of females. It was as simple as that. It was three things I'm pretty good at.
So, so you played in a few different countries. What was your favorite country and why?
Italy, hands down. Italy was my favorite because of the historical background and the passion at which they brought to the gym when we played. Like we had some supporting fans, man. They would be chanting, and the food. Oh my god! Like the the food was amazing, and we lived right off the beach. Like Ravenna was right off the beach,
Mm-hmm.
so they gave me a car. I had my own spot, so I could drive to the beach. I would just go out there and chill. Anything I needed to take my mind away from being away from my family was good. Anything I needed, I met a couple beautiful shorties that held me down. Like I got some friends who are like brothers to this day that I met out there. Like I went skydiving out there. I went and saw Venice. Like I lived it up in Italy. Like it was.
You just talking about Italian food in Italy. I had some great Italian food earlier this week, but obviously I got it from a nice Italian restaurant
Mhm.
here in America. But nonetheless, it's in America.
Yeah,
But just
bruh. They would wake up these grand like these their grandmothers. They call them nonna. They
mhm.
would wake up and get to roll and get to in the kitchen rolling up the dough for the noodles. Like it's fresh. Like they're making it thin, stick it stuffing it with cheese. They call it cappelletti. Like they made their own wine. Like it's different.
so so the stuff I see on Goodfellas and when they cooking the sauce, that's really how they giving it up out there.
That's how they giving it up. That's exactly how they giving it up, man. Man, you go to bruh, if ever go to Italy, go to Ravenna. I will tell my people you on your way. That's why I rock with them. Like that's how they rock it. I'll say big baby coming through, and they will talk sports with you till the day the cows come home.
I'm writing that down, Ravenna, Italy.
Yeah.
So you finally got to a point where your career as a player ended.
Hmm.
Did you walk out on your own terms, or did basketball tell you it was time to pivot?
That's a very good question. So what happened was I was in Saudi Arabia making a good, nice little you did.
Oh, yeah, it's a good check over there.
Yeah, yeah, and I didn't like it one bit. This was before they opened it up where women could drive. You couldn't go to places to meet women, and I'm a ladies' man. You know what I'm saying? I like the females. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah, you
and
had to go cross that bridge to Bahrain to meet women.
yeah, and I couldn't even get over there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was hurting, bro, hurting. So I'm away from my family. The
Mm-hmm.
organization was terrible. You know what I'm saying? And I remember they paid me in cash. They stacked it on the table. I look at it. I flip through it. I go home. My sister just had her baby. I see the picture and I'm like, damn, I want a family. I want to be with my family. I don't know what I'm gonna do after basketball season. You know what I'm saying? I'm having like I've always been able to, as a basketball player, you do get. I wouldn't say I was ever really injured other than when I broke my hand in Finland.
Hmm.
But hamstrings and back, I'm like, what am I gonna do 5 years from now? What am I gonna do 10 years from now? Like, I need something like this isn't. I'm not gonna be able to make the NBA to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like that's out of the question. So I gotta do something different. So that's when I was like, you know what? So I came back home, and because I played in Saudi Arabia, it was difficult because they don't really respect the Middle Eastern League like that. The European leagues don't. So I
Hmm.
went back to Finland, but my heart wasn't in it. And then that's when I was like, when I retired, my agent didn't want me to retire. He said I should come back. And I was just like, nah, man, I'm gonna have to. I'm running from what I need to start off anyway. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do something that's gonna change the landscape of my life. And so to answer your question, like I left on my own terms, and I just was like, then I went to a Woodland game, and it was a cemetery in there. I was just like, yo, they was getting smacked, and I was like, they need some help. And then I was just like, yeah, I'm not going back over there.
Man, it's interesting that you say that for so many reasons. Because for one, I would hate for you to be in Saudi, and with the way that it was back then, that's an awful life to live. And then you talk about the because I got one of my friends. This one of the reasons he decided to not play because with the way that COVID is and stuff now, they were like, you can go to the facility, team events, back to your spot. That's it. If you're spotted out, there goes fines. And guess what? If you are a black man in Europe playing basketball, you stick out. So
You're gonna get caught. Period.
exactly. Um, quick question about the agent thing, because the agent world is a dirty world at times. It's tricky, and I learned that it's best to have an overseas based agent if you're going to be playing internationally, because typically the American agents have to go through another agent, so your money's
Mhm.
touched in many different hands. Is that a lesson that you learned while you were over there, and did you make that adjustment?
Yeah, my agent was from Finland, so I was already cool. I didn't have to,
Okay.
but I learned. But he put me on game, and you 100% correct. 100%.